Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The 10 brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's God creates the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling.
What's up, guys? How's it going? We got Coma, Sterling. How you doing, Sterling? Chow, what's up, bro? We got Alex, Mazen, Bull Runner. Good morning, guys. All right, so we got a couple of opportunities coming up on Bitcoin. If you're not already in an existing short, Bitcoin had a loss of this uptrending momentum and had a bearish internal change of character right here during this moment, and simultaneously when getting that bearish change of character there was a close below the VWAP. We started bearish with the 15-minute orb and we lost momentum all within like one candle close. So like during that moment was a good area of confluence for a short. Stop loss above the strong high, well, the internal strong high. Now we're coming down towards this little demand zone where we expect some hiccups, a bit of a bounce. So this could be an area where we can prepare for a potential turnaround point. I'd like to see if we're going to get that. We have here on the 5-minute structure here to see, we could get the SFP off of this local wick and this previous wick level here. That will come with a very short-term target though. So if we do get that, that would warn some people to potentially take some profits off of this short, especially if we break this neckline key level here. So SFP to front run this potential break, but this will be your TP1. And if we close above this neckline, then we'll be targeting the OR below, which is right here. Right? We got a 5-minute order block here and the VWAP here. So this would be a good area of caution if we break above this level to extend your target to here. So a very short-term potential move, and basically expecting it for actually to continue back down afterwards. If we don't get that, and we instead get the candle body close below this level, then we're likely just going to continue down towards the short's technical target of this, basically this point of control, which is also, if we zoom out, the value area low for this internal range right here. Right? So we have the supply that induced resistance. We also have a volume shelf here for more of the macro range. So we pull a fixed range volume profile from here to here. You see that we have an order block down here, aligned with that valley area low. That could also induce a bounce and turn things around against us. Close below this would mean the price action would extend likely to 85.9K, where the 40 plus day valley area low is. It's gotta be a lot older than that now. Not a lot, but let's see. Yeah, 44. Okay, not that much. So basically, if you're not in an existing short right now, we have a few opportunities for longs. When we come down here, we have good confluence for longs at 87K. Order blocks, valley area low, and it's awfully close to the 40-day point of control where we can expect a lot of interest that can induce reversals as well. That's pretty much it. So here's a good spot to prepare for longs. Here's a better spot to prepare for longs if this doesn't work out, if we don't get the reversal structure. And then we have our front run opportunity that could play out within the next 10 minutes or so. We'll see if we get the SFP or not. We have the chat. I hope everyone's having a great year. Yeah, I'm excited for the new year. I think we should have a call with the community to go over our New Year's goals, even if it's not about trading, you know. That second sweep, not looking to no proper pullback. Yeah, no proper pullback for the technical target, but doesn't mean we can't get an SFP. We won't get the local SFP because we don't have the proper pullback, but you can still get the legacy sweep here. Yeah, not unless you're looking lower, like the 3-minute time frame. You could get the 3-minute SFP, but their tactical targets are usually pretty extremely local. Like this would count as the target if we pulled back immediately and swept here. But yeah, I prefer the local SFP so we can have that additional confluence off that sweep. But even better if we just, close below the wick and continue down, so it doesn't stress any people out who are in active shorts. All right, so that's Bitcoin. So we're basically just hold any existing shorts and wait for longs starting at 87K. Solana basically did the same thing that Bitcoin did. It had more confluence than Bitcoin did for its short, but it has stronger opposing barriers than Bitcoin does. Like here, we're at the valley area high for this range that we've been in for about 16 days. So we lost uptrending momentum. We hit our head off the 252-day structural value area low and the local value area high had that bearish change of character close below the VWAP as well. We have this little demand zone right here currently holding us up. So anyone who's in a short on Solana, you'd need to see a close below this wick so you can get that continuation down towards the next area of interest, which is not very far away. Right here we have the point of control and a demand zone built right here at 124.23 that could induce a bounce, but preferably if you were looking for longs, you'd have it at the value area low around like 22.31. Just waiting on that return down for potential longs down here. There's definitely long opportunities here to front run this, but you just prefer to have it here for that R&R and better positioning for trades. Trading off the point of control can sometimes be pretty risky, unless you know where the liquidity is at. Nice sweater. I want to buy one. Well, this isn't. This is not one that we're selling or anything like that. This was a shirt my sister and her boyfriend bought me for Christmas. They try to make some merch for me. It's pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to them for the gift. We'll have our own merch very soon. My wife Hillary is going to be helping me with that very soon. Starting to get some double bottoming structure here with setting support. So we break this neckline, guys, with a full body candle close. Be a big warning sign to get out of potential existing shorts. We could use this as we have like a 12-minute order block here and a bit of supply here that could cause us to hit our head and come right back down. But just got to be cautious. If we close above this neck level, we could start coming up from there. Could always pull a fib to see if there's any confluence from this high to this low. If we do break this level, just try to establish this as basically just an unclaimed low after we break that neckline, and just prepare for the confluence of potential shorts right here. This placement's a little bit awkward where the order block the golden pocket is. We have the order block in line with that. The VWAP front runs it a little bit. The orb low front runs it a little bit. So there's like conflicting barriers that could prevent us from getting that confluence. And when we do get the structure, we have to be dependent on getting back below the VWAP. So if we have like a double top here, we need to have that confirming candle close back below the VWAP if we are looking for the golden pocket confluence. And then we'd be out of the orb simultaneously as well. This is the orb right here. So if you're looking for that Fibonacci pullback, just be aware of the barriers that could force you to wait for specific candle closes before it's safe to enter. Yeah, coma. Yeah, some degens might have entered off that wick pullback. Yeah, I hear ya. Oh, where's the chat? Can we check CHZ? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, Bitcoin's not really doing anything. We can set an alarm here just so I can notify people if there are any shorts to potentially take some off the table. Create notification sound. Let's do. There we go. And create. But it looks like we're fighting that point of control right now. It's resistance. Right, CHZ. I don't think we have CSD chart. No, okay. Just gonna pull it up here. Chili's. And Chili's is coming up towards this unclaimed high here. We have a key level right here. We have a local demand here. And a VWAP off the demand. Okay, let's zoom out now. Ooh, big picture stuff looks bullish. Alright, so this thing has been in a downtrend. Yeah, since 94 cents. It's now at 44 cents, losing about half its market cap. We've been in this falling wedge for 1,760 days. That's crazy. So it ran up. There's a chance that Chili's might have an inflationary tokenomics system. So just be aware of that, because of the fact that it's been in this such a macro downtrend that it might be losing its, price points due to inflation. I don't know that much about Chili's, but we can find that out right now. Well, that's not really CoinMarketCap CHZ. I think it's a network token, right? Yeah, okay, it's inflationary. Max supply is infinite too. So this thing could be in a forever downtrend. Just mentally prepare for that. You could obviously take the quick scalp, but I'm just saying don't hold this thing long term with the spot holdings or anything like that. When I mean long term, like 4 years and stuff like that, like the stuff that you could do with Bitcoin, but you can't do with some assets. Alex, so crypto's in the house. How you doing, bro? Happy New Year. Chile should move this year because of FIFA 2026. They do a lot of sports, and FIFA football is a big one for them. That's a good point there, Bull Runner. You could get like short-term adoption, but it might not be something that's strong enough to be the conduit of a break of its downtrending resistance that's been keeping it down for so long. Because you have the existing holders that are probably eager to get out, that might be trapped. I'm kind of stuck on the screen. My computer kind of froze on me. I'm afraid of doing too much and disconnecting us from the chat here. Alex of Crypto, you hate this price action? I hate, there's some aspects about it that I hate. There's some aspects about it that I really love. I like that we're staying inside this like range for the past 2 weeks. At that local resistance, we just be hitting our head off of it constantly over and over again. But the in-between stuff is really ugly. Like the break a structure, the internal break of structures and change of character, break a structure, change of character, break a structure, change of character, over and over again in this awkward regression trend. You can't really touch that, like not safely. There might be strategies for it, but mine doesn't work for it. I'm trying to zoom in on Chili's here for you, but the computer's just being nuts. Let me close some tabs down. Ever since we pulled up CoinMarketCap, it's been causing me problems, so I'm gonna close that tab down. All I want to do is find out if it was if Chili's was inflationary because of the downtrending price action we got here being so consistently depressing. We could expect for it to be potentially in a forever downtrend unless its adoption can outpace its inflationary tokenomics. But we're at this macro, the key macro demand. It technically got mitigated from that crazy October 10th flash crash that we dealt with other assets. But we can see that despite that crash, that it's being honored as a form of support. Like buyers stepped in at these previous highs at this demand zone here. So we got this rounded bottom price action that looks pretty bullish. We're coming up towards quite a bit of resistance though. The good news is we're above the 200 and the 50-day EMA for Chili's. But here's what I'm worried about. We have a daily order block off this supply right here. And that's been weighing down the price action a bit. We also have this little already mitigated, mostly mitigated supply right here. They kept it down, but this is what I'm worried about along the way. Like there's good confluence for people to, we can expect that there's trapped buyers here in this supply zone here, right? So when we come up here, we got to watch the confluence of that downtrending macro resistance that's been keeping it down for 1,500 days. So if you're a holder, I'd say that FIFA event might only bring it like to here. You might get a continuation. That'd be amazing for anyone who you jumped in on it. But I'd be more likely to prepare for the shorts here no matter what. Kind of like the sell the news kind of event. But the TA will work alongside that. Let's set this to back. We'll get the... I know this is a pretty big supply zone. Like percentage-wise, it's pretty massive, 26%. So you got to prepare from the moment it taps the low up until this high here for the picture to be painted for a reversal. But right now it looks pretty strong. You just got to break a structure leading out after testing these previous highs above that 200-day EMA. Right here, perfect retest, like textbook, and then we had the confirming candle from after the retest for the break of structure, get us right out of that 200-day EMA. So this, it's also going to be a form of confluence for longs if we return back down here. Hit our daily order block. And you'd watch these previous highs for a retest for local support. And zooming in, we already spoke about the zoom in here a bit. That's where we started. Super short term, might get a short opportunity if we break this, getting us an internal change of character. And they'll be targeting basically short-term kind of trade down to this local demand where the VWAP is. So close here, target here, then prepare for launch here again. The other opportunity, if we don't get the close here, is the sweep of the high and the return down as well. And going back to Bitcoin. Too slow for my scalpy life. Oh, the price action. This is what I was talking about here, Alex of Crypto. Is this internal crap. It's just stupid. So if you got in a trade and you're able to like deal with this crap, when you see all these warning signs, so many opposing warnings, like the bearish change of character, SFP, SFP, bearish change of character, next one, bullish change of character, bearish change of character. So you really had to, this is why confluence is so important, guys, because you can have all these changes of character, which is one of my key rules for entering like a long or a short, but not every change of character is equal. So make sure you have those confluences, liquidity taken. Like here, I had all those confluences, loss momentum, VWAP, or direction, bearish change of character at a local value area high from the 14-day range. And this guy here. But this is what I've been really enjoying, this range. And this is the value area, here to here. I haven't marked it as a traditional value area just because like a lot of these key levels I've memorized, and you can get all the information that you need from your original macro pull, like this being a big key area of interest, this being an area of resistance. So you get that same kind of information. Just whether you pull that fixed range volume profile or not, you're aware of good key levels. So I choose not to have the noise and just delete it. But yeah, I think the only time I really got juked in this range was here. We just barely tapped this supply, and then we had that opposing change character in the lower time frames telling us to kind of get out early. Sterling, you sound like such a salesman. Isn't Kyle great? Just a friendly reminder, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I love it. That's a token that's not only worth trading, it's the mid of soccer's World Cup. Yeah, yeah, it'd be a good time to trade it during all that volatility for sure, man. I don't really like trading news, but it's all obviously is good confluence. If you see anything that works well with your setup, take it. You can trade without the news, though. The charts will tell you the news. After last cup went straight downhill. Yeah. What we have? Am I missing anybody? So we looked at CEC. Does anyone want me to look at anything else? I know the TA for Bitcoin today was pretty quick. There's not much to it. We're just sitting on our hands waiting for the structure. We can delete this. This has been mitigated. This was our little... We had 15-minute 15-minute order block here and demand. So really just trying to see if price action will break this key level. If it does, then you got to get out of any existing shorts. Maybe prepare for a re-entry on the shorts. But this fib pole is kind of dated now. We can pull it down to here. It would be nice if we were to return back up for our short, if the golden pocket kind of aligned with the VWAP and the orb low. Right, and then prepare for a return down from there. But we might not have enough time of the day depending on how price action moves. Noah swears Cardano's going to zero. We can talk about that. I'm looking at Cardano today with the community. It looks rough. We were waiting for... Dude, it was picture perfect for a long opportunity. It just never confirmed. And this is why you wait for your confirmations and be patient. Because if you're not, you would have gotten wrecked buying early on this thing. So, yeah. Cardano has some relative weakness, and so does Solana. Cardano has some relative weakness against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still inside. Like, think of this as Bitcoin's 40-day range, right? Instead, Cardano has some relative weakness. It didn't hold that range, and we lost it. It had to act as resistance during this moment and create supply here. And we're looking for... Yeah, then we just end up creating a new range. It's only about 14 days. So as Bitcoin's been ranging for 14 days in the midsection of its 40-day value area, Cardano has fallen and created a new lower value area. Now we're sweeping these lows, deviating away from the active value area, which is okay. It usually comes with amazing long opportunities, assuming you get the structure to tell you that you can jump into a long. But now we have to watch the value area potentially acting as resistance if we take any longs. But getting acceptance will tell you the story to hold your trade longer. So that's one thing I love about trading that value area deviations, is that you're able to identify a lot easier when you should be holding your trades versus when you should be getting out. So like here, if we have an opposing change of character, we get out. But if we have a break of structure in form of acceptance inside this value area, then we can extend our target to the value area high while being mindful of any barriers like the point of control or internal supply. So, yeah, Cardano's kind of in a make it or break it moment right now. We need to see reversal structure after sweeping this low, or else let's see where we could fall down to. Because we had that wild wick, which is down at 27 cents, which could be reclaimed before reversing, which would make the structure, won't be internal anymore. So a lot of traders might participate more with Cardano if we get that low swept. Market here. That orange level. Where's that orange line? Where's that yellow line coming from? You usually have those for strong key levels. Oh yeah, so yeah, historically we see lots of support and resistance off this level here at 30 cents. And it's the psychological level, being a rounded number. So yeah, if we lose this area, we could fall down and find support here. We could pull a fixed range volume profile from basically where the supply is here to this, where the end of this value area is here, and use that data to help identify support as well. Let's just get rid of this magnet. So we have a previous value area low. This value area is 96 days, so it's pretty significant. It's not. Let's mark this value area high for a second. There we go. Okay, let's see how we performed against it so far. Yeah, it's the previous value area high for that 96-day range. It's been a strong area of interest here too. It's pretty close to the point of control. It's on this volume node peak right here. Like crazy. So yeah, that'll be our next spot of interest. We were on like 32.50. Otherwise, it's gonna be 30 cents. Can you look at link if you haven't already? Yeah, we can do that. I love how you corrupted everyone to the orb. Yeah, the orb is awesome, man. Great confluence to prevent you from making some mistakes. I back tested it. It is pretty cool. The result on the I only back tested the 15-minute orb. I know there's the 15-minute, the 30, and the hourly. They're all kind of respected for traders, but it kind of really depends on how they're print. But normally the 15-minute allows you to get into the action really quickly, and you start utilizing its use case right away. If you normally have a lot of volume when the New York session starts in the crypto land, I would say like the 30-minute and the hourly would be better for assets that are like less volatile. All right, we can delete this, guys. This has been mitigated. We can delete this too. So anyone in their shorts, you got reasoning to hold a little longer. Our next little area is here, off these previous highs, and we have a small order block, but it's still something worth mentioning. An 87.4, and then, but this is the next. This is kind of like the main target. It's down here, the A7K. Okay, Link, right? That was the next request from Randy. Link is my second largest bag, but I'm in on that on house money now. I closed my seed investment at $30. Now I'm just waiting on this thing to reverse on the remaining position. So, Chainlink right now is fighting against this supply confluence off the value area low. It's been getting its butt kicked against it for the past 16 days. So it technically has established a new value area, a new range area of interest from here. So you can pull a fixed range flowing profile basically up to the point of mitigation on the supply to here. So down here, I'll be looking for potential longs again on the 16-day value area low. So at or below this value area low, you can mark your wick levels, prepare for liquidity sweeps. This is the 4-hour time frame. We can zoom in on the 15-minute. So far, it lost its uptrending momentum internally here. Use it as resistance and confluence with the point of control. It's trying to find support off this 30-minute order block and 15-minute order block. And if we lose that, then this is our next area of interest. We have a 15-minute order block here and a previous value area low. So we can look for structural support. So we're just basically looking for a bullish change character, preferably on the 15-minute below the value area. And then targeting the value area high in hopes for a continuation to get acceptance into that 32-day value area low. So your goal with Chainlink, if you're trying to get in on a long, is to capture longs as many longs you can at the range low to front run the break of the high instead of trying to take a trade of acceptance into the value area, because they'll come with higher risk. So trying to get in down here to front run acceptance into here, because once we get acceptance into here, then we'll likely get a target extension to $14. We'll be mindful of the resistance at 13.48. But Chainlink's this is a pretty strong level for Chainlink, so I'm not too concerned about it losing it. Like, this is on top of a previous 90-day range of support, and I can zoom out so you can see where it came from. Go on the daily. And this got like this. This is actually as a strong form of demand since its creation off of this 700-day range. This is where we bought in as a community right here around $7 off the flag, the front run, the break. Yeah, this is the demand. Yeah, that's been holding it up for 419 days. And that's what we're using right now as support as we speak. So we're kind of hopeful that this is the turning point for Chainlink, or else we could fall down to as low as the value area low at like $10.20. If we get proper acceptance in this range with a break of structure and the higher time frames. We're almost there. Like during this conversation, and coming down. All right, we got the bounce off the 50. So this has been mitigated already. I know I just mentioned it, causing a potential bounce here. But yeah, it's been mitigated. We got the bounce already. High wick rate, yeah, volatile reaction. But I'll be looking for like a bullish change of character beneath the value area for a great long here. That's Chainlink. Bitcoin's fallen down to its final order block before we get to this point of control. Mitigate that pretty quick. You can delete it now. Cool. So we're almost there. So you should be expecting a potential signal from me today if we get the confirmation of the reversal. Once I know it's safe, I'll give you guys the signal and we can start targeting back up here again. What we have in the chat. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Okay, so we have a request to look at Zcash. Did we look at that already? We looked at that today. Pull it up. I think I got a Zcash chart. What are we looking at for Zcash? Was it today or yesterday? I feel like we just looked at it. Yeah, we're talking about shorts here. Okay, that was yesterday's trade hunting call, I believe. But yeah, we were looking at shorts to target this point of control. It got hit. We're expecting, preparing for a bounce here at the target that we had in mind because we had the previous point of control here. We have demand right here, but instead we just broke right through it and completely mitigated this demand zone. So this has to be its turning point or else it's going to fall down lower. And our other idea for where it could fall down to was down here at $472, which is an amazing spot to prepare for longs. Because if we zoom out on this thing, we're at let me just zoom out on the 4 hour. Like we're trying to get acceptance inside of this previous value area right here that we were in for about a month, right? We broke through and got above the point of control, which is nice, but now we're kind of like getting this rounded top leading us down to this 4 hour order block where the value area low is and these previous highs are. So here I'll be looking for a bullish change of character to try to target the value area high, which is a big ask. So we might not get there, but what we'll be mindful of is just the unclaimed high and the point of control along the journey up. If we see any opposing warnings like a bearish change of character, yeah, we can take some profits, but we're kind of hopeful for strong continuations to take the unclaimed high to eventually get to that value area high. So here, you're basically just going to be reactional off this 4 hour order block at 472 and preparing for that bullish change of character for your long setup. But yeah, right now, like that could be front ran, but this is the final moment to allow it to do that. Like this is it. How we base on, yeah, our the level that we need to have broken is guarded by the supply and point of control. So we need to get this broken here for like a 5-minute change of character at least, right? If this low gets taken, we take this low, we break this high, then we would flip bullish. But VWAP, point of control, and supply here, like likely could prevent that. So if anything, you could use this confluence to prepare for a short-term scalp for a short, and hope that it takes the unclaimed low for a stronger continuation down to like 472. Something like this. If we delete this pathing, because it kind of already planned out. Let's go back to the chat. So we have Kyle, you got some arcane cash for you. Alchemy, right? You're talking about Alchemy Pay, HC. Yeah, it's Alchemy Pay. Ooh, this is really blocky. Just be a little cautious. Let's zoom out on the macro here. Okay, so on this chart, not sure if this is the whole history of Alchemy Pay though. Let's go there we go. It's a little bit more, not that much more. So Alchemy Pay is also in a critical spot before it goes into price discovery. Been building this like kind of rising wedge posture for 1,000 some days before breaking to the downside. We got downtrending momentum here. We got evolving momentum here. Got a daily bearish. More block here. And it comes in confluence with that previous value area low. And this is 1,000+ days old. So, if you're thinking about accumulating Alchemy Pay, I would make sure you do it on a position of strength because you can get your butt slaughtered right now from this thing. This is its lowest point in its history, at least on the Binance chart, at 0.0663. It has ever since it lost its value area, it's lost about 33% of its market cap. If we take right now, this is the key level that needs to be broken for things to flip bullish on the daily. However, if we take this low, well, yeah, see here. Is that inside? That's inside bars reaction. Okay, so we need to take this low here. We take this low, then our next key level. This would rotate from here to here. And that's where I'd prepare for more of a spot kind of hold if we broke this level. Yeah, breaking this level, you spot hold it in hopes that we don't have an opposing bearish reaction to the downtrend momentum in the 50-day EMA. But really, your big boss, though, is 0.011, or like basically a penny, where this daily order block is. We got the macro downtrend momentum, we got the value area low. So we could hit our head here and continue down. Well, yeah, if we get a body close below here, this would become our strong high, and we could continue to go down lower. So yeah, really just need to wait for that bullish change of character on Alchemy Pay if you're interested in buying this thing. You don't want to buy it in a position of weakness because it can just keep going down. Going back to Bitcoin. See how it's doing. We're still on our way down slowly. Built another bearish order block against us. Okay. Cal, you got some Hugs USDT for you? Is that that's probably an asset, eh? Yeah. If they have Rocket, they have Hugs, right? Fuck, it's ridiculous. All right, so we checked out Zcash, we checked out Solana, we checked out Link, we checked out Cardano, we checked out Alchemy Pay. We have requests for looking at AVAX and CRO. So let's take a peek at AVAX first. I know we have an AVAX chart. Well, I know we haven't looked at in a while. November 24th was the last time we looked at it. It's not really an asset that we trade anymore. It's approaching a strong demand zone down here. So, yeah, AVAX is a really important key level. It kind of ends around $9.38. Let me just update this a little bit. We have this new low here. Okay. Here we go. We have our wick level down here at 852. But this demand zone begins at around $10.97, like basically $11. We have this downtrend momentum that's been keeping us down for a while. Ever since we lost this valley area, used it as resistance around $23. Been downtrending since 35. We had a key level here that we wanted to have broken, but it failed 3 times. If we look like we're bear flagging a little bit, fighting against this previous lows as resistance. We can see we have a strong sell shadow wick reaction against these previous lows and the supply concern here. We can zoom in now a little bit on lower time frames to get a better picture. Yeah, so here we could box this as an area of interest for potential shorts. Send it back. Then we flip bearish during this moment when we had this proper pullback that retested these highs and gave us a strong reaction. But the supply was stronger, right? Then we got that bearish change of character during this moment, and then we retested these previous lows as resistance, and we're about to confirm like a 6-hour break of structure that could drive price down lower to these lows. We do have interest here for support. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So this is our uptrending momentum. This is our current technical target is here for the drop. If that confirms, there's some people that could take a short off of this from here to here. But the confirming candle was here. This is one of those scenarios where sometimes waiting for a continuation structure is better, because the R&R, the person who took this trade versus the person that might take this one, even though you're later on the price, you are going to be making more money than them. Yeah, this is the confirming candle break there here. And you're just going to watch these. And this was mitigated already. You're just going to watch these previous lows here that could induce a bounce from the liquidity sweep. But otherwise, yeah, target here. Be cautious here. But I would recommend anyone who's wanting to buy spot on AVAX, just sit on your hands just a little bit longer, because we're really close to a potential. So this key level here that we want to have broken is likely going to evolve to this high if we take this low first. If we take this low and grab the liquidity, our chalk level for higher time frames will evolve to here, and then that could lead to a stronger trend reversal. Zoom out in the macro. The last time we reached this level, we had this double bottom reaction that basically teleported the price up 500%. I'm not saying he's going to do it again this time around, but macro wise, you could target at least this potential high here while watching and being reactional along the way. It would be nice if we got that aggressive a return back up, but I doubt it. We'll see. The order flow looks good for liquidity. And this is something that would be worth pulling up on the liquidation heat map for at least the past 106 days and see where all the key liquidity areas are along the journey up. That might be used as a good location to prepare for exit plans for any macro holds down here. That'd be worth it. Yeah, I'm going to mention this to the community too. It looks like a good macro setup. All right, guys. Next request was CRO. Let's take a peek. So we have, I don't know if we have CRO chart. We're going to double check. We do not. Okay. But CRO has been doing some wild stuff for the past year or so. We pull it up on here. The daily. Are we about to lose the momentum? We might. So kind of like AVAX, CRO is in a huge critical spot too. So it has been in this ridiculous broadening wedge for over 1,130 days. The biggest broadening wedge I've ever seen in my entire trading career. It's just stupid. And now we're at the low. So historically, this is one of the best spots to prepare to buy. We're kind of losing the momentum a bit. It doesn't mean we're going to collapse all the way down to low, but if you do research on this, you'll find out that the technical target when these do break is the bottom of the structure. Just because of how liquidity usually gets painted from them, right? We normally keep taking liquidity from the highs, take, but we keep stacking more and more from the lows. But this here is a really strong key level for CRO at 0.6845 that can prevent it from going down that low. And normally that kind of targeting, when you're looking at that behavior for a broadening wedge, you're thinking about the behavior of it in maybe like a few day span, not like a 1,100 day old structure. So we had time to establish strong horizontal support along the way. And here, around 7 cents is a good level to watch. So we're approaching right now this demand zone here at this valley area low. So we come down a lower. This will be a good spot to prepare for a good macro position buy after you have the bullish change of character and not just assuming that support is going to be made. So you need to have a bullish change of character first. And then see, we get the look at the posture of the structure at that time and see if it's a good time to do a macro hold. You don't want to close below here if you don't want to come back down here. If we close below here, then we're likely to come down here. And here's that valley area high. We held it as support, and then we broke in, got acceptance. And now we're kind of like dancing around the point of control as we speak. So losing that point of control, we're likely going to fall down aggressively down here. And I don't know if the R&R is there for something. I hate it when it does that. It's more of a swing trade, but something like that. And I close below this low. But yep. Yeah, we see this low act as resistance. I can see it come right down to here. Otherwise, if it doesn't act as resistance, I'm not looking just for a close. I just want to see, yeah, as it acts as resistance. But Yeah, this could be a good spot to prepare for that stiletto breakout too. Bitcoin still chilling. Get closer to our target here. Slow down a bit. Zoom in at lower time frames. Yeah, 5 minute. Here, come back to test these. The boss line here, where we had that break of structure. And the 5 minute order block right here. So a good reason to keep going down. And this is our momentum line right here. The pace of the sellers. And this can be rotated here. If you're in the short, then here's your stop loss basically. You can put it in the profit zone now. All right, guys, I gotta go. I had a lot of fun. I got a call coming up with the community at 3:30. So anyone who's a part of like the Otter Gang, or Fanova or InvestiShare, we have a strategy building call today at 3:30 until 5. We're gonna finish up the strategy that we built, the SFP strategy that we built, because it is looking really good and profitable. We have I think it's close to a 70% win rate on a 3-rule strategy. And we just need another 49 more samples, and then I'm going to automate the signals from that strategy for you guys, so you can get more signals from us. Happy New Year, guys. Yeah, Happy New Year. Make sure you build your plan out for the year, guys. You know where your goals are. I think we should have a call as well for that. We did it last year. We went through all of our goals, how we're going to like break it down to smaller pieces and make it easier for us to accomplish it before the end of the year. I think I accomplished about 85% of my goals from last year. Like this year, I want to try to get 100%. I think I just made my goals a little too hard. But yeah, this year I think I'm gonna aim for with my scalping account. I want to grow it to $200,000 US, and then my my macro portfolio. I don't have a crazy goal for my macro portfolio because I just want to get out. I want to confirm the bear market. We haven't confirmed a bear market yet. Yes, we had a massive pullback from the all-time high, but it's not bear market conditions. So that's not really up to us. We'll see if the bear market gets called in 2026. I'm expecting a decent rally in 2026 based on the posture of the price action we have in the macro. So that might be a good exit plan coming up this year. But yeah, all right, guys. You have an amazing day. I'll talk to you guys tonight. If not, I'll see you on Friday. We have a giveaway on Friday for a $6,000 account from Klein Funding for anyone who's interested. Have yourself an amazing day. And yeah, just reach out if you need help with anything trading related. I'm always here, just one message away. And see you guys.